Hi guys, welcome back. We are here today to do My Week Monday. This is the last week, the fourth week in February. So we have the fourth week and then we have our remainder money here that didn't get divided out into the weeks evenly. So there's 3 remainder that I'm just going to stick in there. So for this week, we have, and remember I had a CD that matured, so I've got extra funds that I normally would not have. So for this week we have 100, 20, 30, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54. So 54 total for this week. 154 total. That's a lot. That's awesome. That feels great. That's a lot of savings. That's a huge blessing and a great lifesaver that I wasn't expecting with that CD maturing. Okay, so for My Week Monday, also, we got 100 subscribers. Finally reached that 100 milestone. So I will have a freebie for you guys that I will post for next week. So I will make that this week and then I will post it for next week. So you'll have it. So I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for sharing and doing the shout outs and mentioning me and getting me up there. I think I went into this not actually wanting to be monetized, but now I think I want to go for it. I mean, it's okay if it doesn't happen. I'm not going to be depressed or anything, but I think I'm going to shoot for that as my goal to try to be monetized. And try to get the videos out regularly and see if that's something that maybe can help me financially if I could be monetized, because that's sort of like not exactly passive, but it's a job that I can do with my autoimmune issues, and I think it would work out with my lifestyle if I can get there and use that income. I don't think it'd be enough income to actually live off of, but it would supplement and it would help. So I'm going to try to be monetized to see if that will help me out. So back to our goals that we do for My Week Monday. We had 13, trying to find my color pencil. We had 13 subscribers. Didn't get my videos out on time. I was still catching up last week. So this is like, I'm actually caught up now. So if I get all my videos out this week and get them posted, then I'll be able to check those off. So we had 13 subscribers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, we're running out of room. 9. 10, 11, 12, 13. I'm gonna have to like move these up or something, or I'm gonna have to do, I wonder if I can, nope, that's already done. I'm gonna have to make a new thing for it. Where was it? So we did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And these are going to be subs. Okay. So subs on this side is completely full, because then it goes into the decorating for the season, which I have to do my trackers for. Views were 156. We had a remainder of 78. That's what it looks like. So 78 plus 156, 156. Wait, why did that come out wrong? That's wrong. I had something else on there. So 78 plus 156. All right, that's better. Then it's 234. So that each one of these is 100. So I mark off 2 squares. And I have a remainder of 34. Okay. And then for the watch hours, each one of these represents 5. I had 13.4 plus a remainder of 0.8, and that's going to be 14.2. So 5, 10, and a remainder of 4.2. Okay. And I didn't do any shorts. Along with the subs, I went through and I redid my watch party list. I realized that you could go through and see the dates that people had subscribed to you. Like I don't know why I didn't really pay attention to this before. But you can click on the date subscribed and it shows them in chronological order of the first person that subscribed to the last person that subscribed. So I went through and I redid my list in order of the date that you subscribed. And I noticed that on my older list that I have names on here that did not show up on the new list on the dates and stuff. So I don't know if some, and I saw some that I hadn't even seen before, like Trina's Hippie Puppies and Kittens and Budgets. That wasn't even on my list. And she was the very first subscriber. So I don't know if some people have become public and then some people have not been public, or maybe some people are no longer subscribed. I don't know. So I redid my list in the order that people subscribed that are still public for me to be seen. So that's why, like, there's some people that are new that I haven't seen, and then there's some that are missing. So I've got that updated, and I've already colored them in just like my old list. Excuse me. And I've also marked the months that I completed their playlist, so that on that yearly anniversary, I can go through and rewatch those, so that you're constantly, I'm going to be doing these every year. I'm going to try to anyway, so that if you're on my list, you're going to stay on my list as long as you are still publicly subscribed. If you're not publicly subscribed, I'm not going to be able to know or see you on my list, and I plan on redoing this every year. So hopefully you guys remain publicly subscribed. I don't know the benefits or the downside to being publicly subscribed. I don't know why somebody would not want to be publicly subscribed. If there's a reason why it's beneficial to not be public, let me know. Because as a creator, I would feel like it would be beneficial for everyone to be publicly subscribed, so you can see, who's there and who's active. And it's easier when you do giveaways and things like that. So you can, see your people and you can keep up with your numbers and things. Anyway, so if you're not publicly subscribed, I would really appreciate it if you don't mind being public. And if there is a reason why you don't want to be public, if you don't mind sharing that, because I'm genuinely curious as to why you wouldn't want to be public. Just because maybe I shouldn't be public. Maybe there's a reason I shouldn't be public. So I was just wondering if there's some kind of downside to that. All right. So I've updated my list. I have finished PR Money Roll. We were working on Budget with Chuckles and PR Money Roll last week. I finished all of that for PR Money Roll. I actually did two of her playlists because they were shorter list, and they also went into the order that I like. If your playlist goes from the most recent down to the oldest, I skip those and I try to find a playlist that goes from the oldest to the newest because I don't want to watch it in reverse. I want to watch it as you progress. So if I see a playlist that says, 1 day old, and then I scroll down a little bit and then it goes to like 2 months old, that's going to watch it in reverse. That's like watching your progress backwards. And that, I don't like doing that. And I can understand why you would want to do that, because you want to show off your newest videos first in case somebody has already watched your playlist. They don't have to scroll all the way down to the bottom. I can understand doing that, but then even if you do that, like say I'm a month behind and I'm going to rewatch your newest videos, I've got to go down to where you were at a month, click on it. Then when the video's over, I've got to go click on the one above it, because the playlist plays down. It won't go up like to your recent videos. And I wish there was a way you could sort it yourself. So if you want to do it the newest one, or if you want to watch it the oldest one, but it doesn't. It's based on what the creator has the playlist set as, which sucks because there's a few creators that have their playlist with the recent ones going first, and then you have to watch everything backwards, which I won't do. I won't watch it backwards. It's weird. I don't know. It bothers me. I don't want to watch your progress in reverse. So, but those creators that do have stuff, they do have a few playlists that do go in chronological order. So I will watch those. Those playlists may not be very long, but that's the way I watch it. So just a heads up, if you put your playlist in like where you have to watch it in reverse, I'm not likely to watch those because it feels backwards to me. So finished PR money roll. And another thing. So if you do want to keep it easy for people to find your videos where they can watch the most recent videos, there was one channel, and I cannot remember the name of it, but I thought it was a really cool idea. They did their videos like per week. So they had a playlist for all the videos, which were in chronological order. Thank you. And then they would do their like this week playlist, and then they would do this week playlist, so that you can watch it in chronological order without having to scroll all the way down through the all videos playlist. You can go to this week and watch what you missed, and go to that week and watch what you missed, which I thought was really, really cool. So for people that are on her watch party, that was a way for her to keep the list short and easy to find her newest videos, so that you don't have to scroll through all of her main ones. I don't have enough videos to do that, but when I do get a whole lot of videos to where it's like you've got to scroll through them all to get caught back up, I will start doing that. I thought that was a really cool idea, so that it can still be in chronological order and still easy to find the newest videos. Okay, sorry. Finished PR money roll. I am still working on Budget with Chuckles. She's got a very long playlist. It's 440 videos. So I am still working on that. I did not go and watch the whole 440. I started at 200 videos back, so at 240, and I'm still running those through. So I believe 200 videos is a generous watch hour list. I think that's fair enough. 200 videos seems good. Plus, when you're watching it on the computer, the list, when you're scrolling through videos, it only shows you 200 at a time, and then you've got to click the last one, and then it shows you the rest. Unless you click on the link that says watch full or view full playlist, then it'll show you all the videos. But anyway, I think 200 is sufficient. So I'm still working on Budget with Chuckles, and that was last week, so I'm still having that running, but I'm also adding Trina with Hippies, Puppies, and Kittens Budgets. So I've got hers running right now, and Hope to finish that this week. And I've also got Jen Finally Saves running this week. Those were two that I think recently became public because they were not on my other list. So they are now on here, and I'm also currently watching theirs because they were, Trina was the first person to subscribe, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and Jen was the fifth person to subscribe. So really, they should have been before all of these people, but they were not public on my list for me to be able to see that. So, but they are now, and my list has been updated. I plan on updating my list every January so that those that become public will be in the spot that they belong, and everyone, you know, gets the love that they should get. Okay, so that is my update for my watch hours. I really was supposed to wait and update that on Friend Friday, but I'll update where I am on the list for that week. Or I'll update it where I am for Friend Friday, because today is Monday, so I got some time to work on it. All right. What else is there? So I mentioned that I got 100 subscribers, and I'm going to do a giveaway, not a giveaway, but a freebie. And then my goals, I went through the money. So that's all the updates I have for, I don't need to put that in there, I'll lose it. I need to put that in my actual game binder. Life update. This had some few like crazy things going on this past weekend. I got my counterclaims reply back from my ex's attorney, and I had a complete meltdown because the things they were denying, they were lying about. Like, I don't know if anyone's ever had to go through this. I pray that nobody has to go through a divorce. Like, just, it is the worst thing ever. Probably, I don't even know at this point, I don't even know what's worse, the abuse I was going through or going through this divorce. But I feel like at the end of it, I'll be grateful for it, and it'll be like the light at the end of the tunnel. Who knows? But when you go through and there's like a claims or whatever it's called, it says that you live at this place, there is this minor that you guys had between you two. It like lists all the truths of the marriage and the dates of separation and stuff like that. And then you send that over to the other person, the defendant or the plaintiff, or I guess it's the defendant, I'm not sure. And that person goes through with their lawyer, and they're supposed to be like, is this true? Is this true? Is this true? Is this true? If it's true, then you accept it. If it's not true, then you deny it. And the thing that they came back with, and I'm trying not to cry again. I cried so much. The stuff that they denied was like the date of separation he's denying, because he's using the date that he was removed from the home because of domestic violence. So there was a restraining order, and he's trying to use that date as the date of separation. But when he had went through counseling and we were allowed to have contact with each other, we started dating again, and he actually moved back into the home, and we were working on our marriage. We even signed a heat lock on the home to help with the financial struggle from where he did have to go get an apartment when he got kicked out. And now he's saying that we never had a relationship, that he never wanted it to work out, that he did not move back into the home. I've got, like, there's messages, I'm shaking. There's messages proving this. Like, neighbors have saw him come in and out. Family members. He went to Thanksgiving and Christmas with my family together, but yet we weren't in a relationship. Why would you go to my family functions if we were not in a relationship? Why would I sign a heat lock on the home if we were not working things on our marriage? Why would I do that? So it drove me absolutely insane that they would lie like that. And my lawyer had asked for me to be allowed to use my maiden name, to stop using my married name and actually continue to use my maiden name. And they denied that. How can somebody deny the use of your name? Like, oh gosh, I can't. Like, it's ridiculous. And then when I mentioned it to him, like, why would you deny all this stuff? So he still denies. He told me that we never worked on things, that he never moved back into the house because he still had an apartment. Yes, I know you had an apartment. You still had it in your name. You still had an active lease, but that's not where you were living. You were living at the home with me. We did things as married couples do. The lies are insane. He denies certain parts of the abuse, like the sexual assault part of it. He completely denies. And to go through it is one thing, but to have somebody deny and straight up lie about it is like a whole nother type of abuse that is like really hard to deal with. So yeah. So that's really hard to hear. And when I told him about him denying like my name, he's like, I didn't do that. And I didn't ask for unequal distribution, which his lawyer asked for unequal distribution in his favor. And he also denied that he was the supporting spouse. I was a stay-at-home mom. He was the one that was working. So that makes him the supporting spouse. But yet he denied that. And then when I was going through the stuff that he denied, he's like, I didn't do that. I didn't say that. It's like, read your document. Read what your lawyer has done. And then he says, I don't understand all that stuff. And I'm like, if I can understand it, you can understand it. You actually went to college and got a degree. I stayed home. I didn't finish college. You're supposed to be more educated than I am. And I can understand it. And you can't. My lawyer sat down and went, is this true? Is this true? Is this true? What do we need to fix? His lawyer just sent him the thing in the email. But even so, if he sent it in the email, it was your responsibility to go through and read and tell your lawyer what is true and what is not true. But I guess I can't trust that either, because he's saying that he didn't move back in when he did. So I don't know. I don't know what to do. I don't know how. I'm still waiting on my lawyer to get back with me about all of this, because that's blatantly lying. And I don't know if that's an official court document or not, or if there's any kind of issues. I don't understand lying. I don't understand it. It's what happened. That's what happened. Tell the truth. Like, it's not going to change anything. I don't think I get anything more out of it. I don't know why you would want to lie about it, but so I'm dealing with that right now. The lies and just not, like, yes, I have to deal with the experience and the healing of what I went through, but now I have to deal with that on top of somebody, oh, I didn't do that to you. That's not what happened. Even though I even have proof that it did, and still it being oh my gosh, has anyone ever gone through this? Like, it's driving me crazy. Like, yesterday I had like panic attacks and like stressing out. Like, I was so at a point, like I'm going to have to get a therapist or something, or get on some kind of medication for anxiety, because this is going to end up breaking me. I can't. Anyway, didn't really mean to go that far into detail with story time, but that's the update on my life. So not only is this going to be like a budgeting channel and playing games, but it's also going to be kind of like a video diary of where I have been in my life. So yeah. So he denies all of it. So I guess he thinks that I lied on a court document in front of a judge, which I would never do, ever. Like, I don't lie about stuff anyway. And then to, like, my very first experience ever seeing a judge, ever being in a courtroom, for me to put that on paper and to lie to somebody, like, that's just not, I'd never do that. And I even have proof where he admitted to the physical abuse. And I think it might have mentioned that he admitted to the verbal abuse as well. But my parents have witnessed the verbal abuse. My friends have witnessed the verbal abuse. And they all just sort of dismissed it because he was a New Yorker and that's just how New Yorkers talk. And treat people. That's just how their mindset was. They just sort of accepted that's who he was and that's how he talks to people. But what they saw in public, imagine what it was in private for me. Being called a worthless piece of shit every day. Lazy, and this also goes back with my autoimmune disease when I was like not feeling well, and even after being diagnosed, it still didn't stop. But it was before I got diagnosed and I was being called all this stuff. And even after I was diagnosed, he would say that it's a made up disease and I would be called all these names. I was physically abused, not every day. So I didn't even think I was actually abused, because when I think of physical abuse, I think of somebody that, I'm shaking. I think of someone that was like beat every day, like has black eyes, bloody lips and stuff like that. But I would get hit like maybe once a year or once every year. So to me, I didn't feel like I could classify that as abuse because it didn't really happen all the time. The very first time was a month after my son was born. Son was born in August, and I was very excited to celebrate his very first holiday, fall season holidays. That's just what you do as a mom. You are very excited to celebrate their first things and like celebrate the season as a family. And I wanted my husband to get out the fall decorations and Halloween decorations like in September, because I have my fall and Halloween all together anyway. And I'll decorate for fall in September, and then October I will do Halloween. And then I'll take away the Halloween and keep the fall up for November. But anyway, so I was begging him. My son was born August 29th. So September, which is like, a few days later, I wanted the fall stuff down. And it may have been a few weeks because I was still healing and breastfeeding and still figuring out life with the newborn. So it might have been closer to the middle of the month or maybe the end of the month that I had asked him to do this stuff. But I kept asking him to do it and he would not do it. Then when October actually rolled around, I was like, okay, now we've passed September with the fall stuff. Now it's Halloween. Like, I really got to get this stuff out. Like, I want to celebrate this first holiday with my kid. I'm not going to get to celebrate his first again. Like, you don't get another first. So he refused to do it. And I'm just like, you know what? I'll just do it myself. So I went, and I wasn't even angry about it. Like, I might have been annoyed, but it wasn't like I made him feel bad about it. I was just like, you know what? Fine. I'll just do it myself. So I went in there. It's a crawl space. So the ladder was still put up there. And I was starting to climb up the ladder. This was in the garage where we converted it into a theater room. So I was starting to go up the ladder, and he goes in there and he jerks me off the ladder, slaps me so hard that my face hits the sconce hanging on the wall. And I was in absolute shock. And he was like, why would you get up on there? I told you I would get it when I was ready to get it and all this stuff. And then he's like, your stitches haven't even healed, blah, blah, blah. And I was just in shock that he would smack me. And to that extent, like, it's one thing to jerk me off the ladder and say, don't do that. You shouldn't be doing that, blah, blah, blah. But he jerked me off the ladder, then slapped me hard enough for my head to hit the sconce that was hanging on the wall. And I left the house. I called my mom. I didn't tell my mom that he had hit me. I was ashamed and embarrassed. And I just really, I don't know really why I called. I don't know if I was looking for help or what, but I told her that we had gotten into a fight and he had put me up against the wall, is what I told her. I didn't tell her that he had actually hit me. I just told her that we got into a pretty nasty fight. And she basically told me that I got married and you go through hard times in your marriage, and that I made my bed, now I have to sleep in it. So to me, I was like alone. And I never mentioned abuse to anybody else again. because I had made my bed and I needed to sleep in it. And that was my choice of marriage. So, and in my religion, when you get married for life. So, the whole time I was married and dealing with abuse, I kept it to myself. And my best friend's baby shower was that day, and I actually missed that because I had a big handprint on my face and I was not going to go anywhere where anyone could see that. But, so the whole time I was abused, I didn't tell anybody. And I would continue to put all this sweet stuff on Facebook about how he was a great dad, how he's a great husband, so that we could appear like good, normal family. And so that I could keep peace with everybody without causing drama or causing a rift between our family, because I thought that it was just a patch that we would get over. And if I was to put that with our family, like that he was abusive to me, it would cause a rift that would never heal. So I kept all of it to myself to keep peace and to keep normalcy within our family. And I was home with our son, raising our son, and keeping house and cooking. There was a time that I cooked every day, that I did keep the house, like, I wouldn't say spotless, but it was definitely, like, kept up. And I raised our son and did lesson plans. It was more than just babysitting. Like, I actually did lesson plans with our child and, like, scheduled tummy time and, like, all, like, as if he was in, like a high-end daycare. I did all these things, working on his milestones, working on muscle, like his fine muscle motor skills and gross motor skills and all this stuff and cognitive things. Like, I did all this. And with the abuse and me having my autoimmune disease where I started slowing down and I didn't do as much, and I got called like a worthless piece of shit every day and didn't have any love and affection. Like, after my son was born, he just did not do anything with me. And he told me that it was because he was afraid that I was going to get pregnant. And I understand that because I got pregnant months, like, after we were married. Like, 2 months after we were married, I got pregnant. So I can understand why he would be afraid of that. But there was, like, no love, no affection, but only abuse that I was dealing with. So I was neglected. I was alone. And I dealt with all of that. And when you're dealing with all of that and you're dealing with somebody calling you a worthless piece of shit and you're like all of that, you stop. You don't have the motivation to keep trying for that person. I did what I had to for my son. I made sure my son was taken care of, but that is all the energy I had. The house suffered. I didn't cook the meals like I used to. And I had proof on my Facebook of all the meals that I did, all the lesson plans and stuff that I did with Logan, and then my Facebook got hacked and I lost all that. But my family can tell you that, my friends and family can tell you, yeah, like, she used to do all this stuff. I remember seeing all this stuff. My friends used to be jealous of the things I would do because I would even do holiday meals. I would color mashed potatoes green or whatever to make it fun seasonal holiday meals, and cut out chicken nuggets in the shape of 4-leaf clovers and mac and cheese for a pot of gold. Like, I did themed meals and went above and beyond for my family. So I was not always this worthless piece of shit. That is what the abuse made me into. And my disease did not help. But I dealt with all of that for almost 20 years. And when I think of that pain and what I went through and what I suffered for my family, for my husband, and then for him to deny me all this stuff in court, like to deny that he was the supporting spouse, to deny like all the things that were true, and me not being able to get like alimony, like the lifestyle that we had was what he promised. Like, he promised to take care of me. That is the lifestyle that we had. I was the stay-at-home mom. He was the one that worked. And my sister would tell me, like, you need to go to college. You need to get a degree. You need to do this for yourself. Because what if something happens, like, health-wise or whatever? Like, divorce was never, like, a thing that we thought about ever. And my husband actually told her because it was stressing me out. Like, this is the lifestyle I wanted. I didn't want to go to college and get a career. I wanted to be a mom. I wanted to be a wife. Like, my entire life, since I was in kindergarten, that has always been my goal, has been to be a wife and a mother. Before I could say, oh, you just want to be a lazy person that sits on the couch and eats bonbons, or whatever it is that stay-at-home moms, the stigma of it. Before I even knew that was a thing, I was too young to even know that that was, to be lazy or whatever. That's where my heart was to be a mom and a wife since very, very young. And it stressed me out that lifestyle that I chose was not good enough for people. And my husband got tired of it, and he finally told my sister, don't worry about her. I've got her. I'm taking care of her. But now that we are getting a divorce, there is no taking care of me. He's refusing alimony and all of this stuff. Like, things, like, even if we had a good marriage, like, and we just didn't get along, I should get alimony, I feel like. Because that's the lifestyle. He supported this lifestyle for me. This is what we agreed upon. And I did not go to college. I did not have to work. And I'm blessed for that. And I'm blessed that I was able to raise my son and I didn't have to put him in daycare, that I was able to do that. I am very grateful for that. But the fact that I had to deal with all the abuse, with everything, and I could have made his life miserable. I could have told his parents what he was doing to me. I could have told my parents what he was doing. But I kept it so that we could have a normal family, so that we could go to holidays to other people's houses and we could have friendships and continue to be normal to everybody. For the family's sake. I suffered in silence for the family's sake, and now you don't want to give me anything for my sacrifice. That hurts. And I feel totally screwed for doing what I thought was right, for being a good wife, and suffering. Anyway, this is, like I said, this is starting to become more of like therapy and a video diary of my life. But I don't think I'm going to hold back anymore, because I may look back on these videos and be able to see like where I was now and where I will be in the future. Because I have hope that it's going to get better, and it might get worse before it gets better, but maybe there's somebody out there that's going through the same stuff that I am, and knowing that they're not alone in what they suffer, maybe help will help. If you are in an abusive relationship and you feel like the same as me, like you don't want to create waves in your family and all that, I would say create the waves. Make them accountable for what they are doing to you. If you don't want to end the relationship because you still have hope that you can get through it, you need to hold them accountable for it. You need to go to therapy. You need to tell somebody. You need to tell your family or their family. You need to let them be held accountable. Don't let them get away with it, because they will keep doing it. And I dealt with it for 20 years because I kept my mouth shut. Nobody knew until we started getting a divorce and he got removed from the home for it. Do not do what I did. Make them be held accountable. Tell somebody. And if you haven't gone to college because you are feeling secure in your relationship, you need to. Whether you use it or not, whether you go outside the home and work or use it or whatever, do something to where you can fall back on. Put back money for yourself just in case. If you never use it, you never use it. Put it in a trust for your kid in your will, but have something. Do not be completely dependent on someone else. Anyway, I will see you guys in a little bit to do the rest of my weekly videos. I hope everyone has a great day, and I hope to have better days ahead. Talk to you guys later. Bye.